Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Monday, August the 5th. We're going to take a look at Monday's 12-game MLB slate, talk about pitching to start off with. We'll look at the top of the player pool, we'll work our way down. I'll be sure to hit on all the options that I like for tonight's slate. Then we'll look at some batters I like, 3 specific hitters that I'll be targeting. We'll talk about some stacks that I'll be going to. And then towards the end of the video, we'll look at some BVP plays as well, for those of you interested in BVP. But before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. So at the top of the player pool today, we have 3 options over 10K. Lucas Giolito at 11K against the Tigers, Charlie Morton at 10-7 against the Blue Jays, and Luis Castillo at 10-1 against the Angels. So I think there's 2, out of these 3 guys, there's 2 that really stand out, Giolito and Morton. Castillo, I would say, is in a tough matchup against the Angels, a team that doesn't really strike out much, just not a good matchup. They put the ball in play, pretty good lineup top to bottom. Giolito, though, and Morton have very favorable spots. Giolito facing the Tigers, I absolutely love. This Tigers team is just so bad offensively, so many strikeouts in this Tigers lineup. And Giolito does have a lot of strikeout upside. This is a very talented pitcher. He's shown a lot of promise this year after having a rough year last year. Been much better this year. When he's been in good spots, he's been able to produce. He's had some tough matchups this year, no doubt, like against the Twins, against the Cubs. His last start against the Mets, he was really good. Pretty favorable spot, 7 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, got 9 Ks. He's been able to get Ks and win the matchups right, and this is obviously a great matchup against a really bad Tigers lineup. So love going to Giolito here. I think he's one of the top options on the slate. It is close between him and Charlie Morton. Morton's been great this year, no doubt. Pitching at home in Tropicana, a great pitcher's park, against a pretty bad Blue Jays lineup, a Blue Jays lineup that does have some strikeouts in it. You could definitely target Charlie Morton here. Right now, the Blue Jays have the lowest implied run total on the slate at 3.1 runs. So Morton's in a pretty good spot, but I think I just get more upside out of Giolito. I'm pretty sure people are going to go to Morton over Giolito. I feel like he's going to be a little bit more popular. For that reason, I'll just go side with Giolito. Going to be my number 1 guy today. And then at SP2, there's really no clear standout options. There's multiple ways you can go. If you want to target a guy like Masahiro Tanaka against the Orioles at 8,900, if you can find a way to fit him and Giolito in there together, you could definitely look to Tanaka. But like a lot of these guys in the mid-range have pretty tough matchups, like Samardzija against the Nationals, Chris Bassett against the Cubs, Odorizzi against the Braves, Soroka against the Twins, even Kyle Hendricks against Oakland. I don't really like that matchup. So this 9K to like 8K range is pretty dead to me. Just don't see any guys that I really like besides Tanaka. But once you get down to 7K and below, there are some value plays that stand out. Aaron Savale at 6,900, I do like a lot as a value SP2. Pitching at home against the Rangers. This will be his second start for Savale this year. He did start on the 22nd. That was his major league debut against the Tigers, and he pitched really well. 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, 3 walks, got 6 strikeouts, 26 DraftKings points. He's being called up from AAA because Danny Salazar went on the IL. So Savale's going to make the start here. Very interesting to see if he's going to be able to go like 80, 90 pitches. I imagine he will be. He is coming back from the IL, I believe, the 7-day IL, so he wasn't out for a long time. Just reading right here, Savale should slot back into the rotation after missing 2 weeks with shoulder injury. Young right-hander shined in a spot start with Cleveland back on June 22nd. Terry Francona seemingly content with Plesac and Pluto as a back-end starters, but now that Salazar is on the IL, they had to call somebody up. So Savale's getting the start here. I imagine he's going to be fully stretched out. He's going to be able to go 80 to 90 pitches. If that's the case, I have a lot of interest in him at home against a very bad Rangers team that does strike out versus right-handed pitching. On the road, the Rangers have also been much worse as well. So pretty favorable spot for Savale. He's dirt cheap. We need a cheap SP2 because I feel like we're going to want to pay up for either one of Giolito or Morton today. So Savale is the guy that I really like if you're looking for a value pitcher. There's multiple guys that you could consider, though, besides Savale. If you want to go to Rick Porcello at home against the Royals, I wouldn't mind going to him. Porcello's never a guy I like to play, but he is dirt cheap. It's a very favorable matchup. Plays his pitching at home, which is a plus. So you could definitely look to Porcello. Same with Eric Fede. Fede, not a guy that I like to play, but he's in a very favorable matchup against the Giants. It's a great pitcher's park. If you want to go to Eric Fede as a cheap pitcher for $5,600, I could see doing or using him as a cheap pitcher today. But I think that's it for pitching for me. Let's go ahead and talk about some bats now. So there's two teams that really stand out to me on this main slate. The Red Sox with a 7.2 implied run total versus Mike Montgomery. And the Yankees, we don't have a total in this game right now, but they're going to be facing Gabriel Yanoa and the Orioles bullpen. So great spot for both the Yankees and the Red Sox. One guy that really stands out from the Red Sox, a value play, Sam Travis should be batting about 5th or 6th, and he's only 3,400 on DraftKings. I like him a lot as a value play today. Whether you're stacking the Red Sox or if you want a cheap one-off at first base, you can play him in the outfield as well. I think Travis does fit that build. This is a guy that does have some power versus lefties. Mike Montgomery, just really bad, just doesn't really get strikeouts, pitches to contact. Now he has to face a Red Sox team that is not going to strike out in the first place, has a ton of power. This is just such a good spot for the Red Sox. I do like Sam Travis a lot. Righty facing lefty. There's a chance he gets pinch hit for if a right-handed pitcher comes into the game. But if the Red Sox are like up big, if the stacks are going off, there's a good chance Travis is already producing either way. So at 3,400, he looks like a really good value option if you need a cheap first baseman. Like him a lot. Then the Yankees, I mentioned them. They're another team I love today versus Gabriel Yanoa and Camden Yards. Great spot for the Yankees. Pretty good hitting weather, 85 degrees, a little bit of humidity. Going to be pretty hot. The Yankees are expensive, which is tough to fit them in with a expensive pitcher. But you can find some standout plays. Aaron Judge, a guy that stands out at only 4,600. When you just look at some of the other pricing on these Yankees hitters, like LeMahieu at 5,600, Didi at 5K, Torres at 51, even Urshela is more expensive than Aaron Judge. Cameron Maybin also more expensive than Judge, so is Mike Tauchman. So Judge really stands out at 4,600. I know he's been in a little bit of a slump, hasn't been hitting as well lately, especially for power. It feels like it's been a while since Judge has hit a home run. But this is definitely a get-right spot for him against Yanoa and this Orioles bullpen. Yanoa is just really bad, gives up home runs to both sides of the plate. It's a great hitter's park, great hitting weather. Yankees feel like another team that just has so much upside today. It's going to be very interesting to see what their run total is once it comes out. I imagine it's going to be north of 6, could probably even approach 7. Yankees are just in a great spot today, and I really like Aaron Judge on DraftKings. His price really stands out at 4,600. And then I also really like Gleyber Torres as well. Torres and LeMahieu, both are second base eligible, but I think Torres you can play at shortstop, and LeMahieu you can play at third base. So if you want to do a Yankee stack and you want to play both guys, you could still do that with the position flexibility. But Torres I really like today at 5,100. A ton of power. We saw it in last game, or Friday night I believe it was, or Saturday night. 2 home run game for Torres. Had a double as well, 35 DraftKings points. This is the kind of upside that Gleyber Torres has. He's a great hitter, a ton of power. He's been hitting the ball very well lately. I'm going to be looking to stack the Yankees as much as I can today. So going to be getting as much exposure to them as possible. And Torres and Judge are 2 of my favorite plays from the Yankees side. But obviously, guys like LeMahieu, Didi, even Urshela, Gardner, I'll be looking at these guys as well. Pretty much going to be full stacking the Yankees in as many lineups as I can. As many lineups as I can find a way to fit them in. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for DraftKings today. Let's go ahead and look at some stacks real quick. Then we'll talk about some BVP plays before we end the video. So my 2 favorite stacks by a landslide are going to be the Red Sox and the Yankees. Love their spots. Think they're one of the higher upside 2 of the higher upside teams on the slate. You could definitely look to those teams. Brewers have a 5.1 implied run total versus Dario Agrazal. Not a great hitting park, but the Brewers do have a really good lineup. You can find some value in their lineup as well. Like Moustakas is only 4,200. If Travis Shaw's in the lineup, he gives you a ton of value at just 2,600. Eric Thames is only 4K. So maybe if you're trying to find like a 2 or 3 man stack to do with the Yankees that's cheap, you could do like Thames and Shaw, both very cheap at 4K and 2,600. The Indians surprisingly have a very high total against Mike Minor. Minor's actually a pitcher I respect. I think he's pretty good, but very interesting to see that the Indians have a 6.2 implied run total, which is towards the top of the slate. This is a very good lineup now that they have Franmil Reyes and Yasiel Puig. Adds a ton of power into this lineup. It's a very dangerous spot for Minor. I'm not going to be playing Minor today, but don't see myself playing a ton of Indians. I just rather pay up for Yankees bats. Yankees are about the same price as the Indians are. I'd just rather go to the Yankees. Minor is a pitcher that I do have some respect for. If you need a value team, you can look to the Rays versus Wagyu Spag, like G-Man Choi at 3,900. Kiermaier at 3,800, Garcia at 4K, Duffy at 3,300. You can get some value from the Rays. But other than that, that's probably it for me for stacks today. The teams I'm really going to be looking to target. So let's go ahead and talk about some BVP real quick before we end the video. So at the top, Trey Mancini gone 6 for 20 with a home run off Masahiro Tanaka. Brian McCann has great BVP off Jake Odorizzi, 13 for 31 with 3 home runs. Trey Turner 6 for 10 with a home run off Jeff Samardzija. Matt Adams 9 for 19, 3 home runs off Samardzija. I don't even think Matt Adams is playing right now, though I'm pretty sure he's on the IL. Gerardo Parra gone 14 for 34 with 2 home runs off Samardzija. Last couple more versus Michael Wacha. A couple of these Dodgers have hit him well. Justin Turner 5 for 12. AJ Pollock 5 for 11 with the home run. And lastly, Corey Seager gone 5 for 10 off Michael Wacha. So that's it for BVP today, guys. I think that is it for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy the video, and hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like down below. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Or like always, you can hit me up on Twitter at @thedfs_GOAT if you do have any questions. But good luck tonight, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.